Hi, I'm here today to talk to you about how to combine computers with exploration. Ever since I was a kid, I've been passionate about two things in my life. The first one is traveling the world. So I took my first transatlantic flight when I was 2 weeks old in my mother's arms. Obviously, I wasn't flying. After growing up in Ireland, I've lived in Austria, in France, in Australia, in Japan, in Mongolia, and now all over the US. And basically, whether it's boats, trains, cars, automobiles, or horses, I've pretty much traveled on them all. The second thing that I really love is technology. So I started programming computers when I was 7, and now I run a technology startup called Tomnod in San Diego. I also spend way too much time playing video games. So whether, so I'm going to talk a lot about video games today, so I hope you guys like that. So whether it's spaceships or samurais or soldiers or even Mario, I've pretty much played them all, right? So what I want to do, my ambition, is to combine these two passions in my life, right? And to think about how we can use the digital world and technology to help us understand and explore the real world. I guess what I'm saying is I kind of want to be Indiana Jones, but for nerds, right? Okay, so before I tell you how I'm going to do all this and how I do all this, I want to play a little game that's going to illustrate the idea. So you might be able to see up here that I'm wearing these cool silver shiny sneakers. You guys get this? Now, I suspect that out in this audience somewhere, somebody else is also wearing shiny silver sneakers, and I want to find that person, okay? Now, for me, it's really tough because there's lots of you. It's really dark. I can't see a thing. These lights are in my eyes. There's upstairs, and there's like hundreds of you here. So I need your help, okay? So what I want you to do is right now, look down at the shoes of the person to your left and to your right, okay? And if you see someone who's wearing shiny silver sneakers, I want you to stand up, okay? So if there's someone next to you wearing shiny silver sneakers, stand up. They have to be right beside you. If the person right beside you is wearing shiny silver sneakers, I want you to stand up, okay? So I'm going to step forward a little bit. Okay, so we've got two people standing right here. So I'm guessing you're wearing shiny silver sneakers. Can we see? Let's see. Come on, show the world. Just stick. Okay, nice. And we got one over here. I see someone else. Shiny silver sneakers. Nice. Okay, cool. So in just 10 seconds, we were able to solve a problem that would have taken me an hour if I was walking around and trying to poke around and see who has shoes on, right? I also want to say thanks. That was my wife, Laya, over there, and she loves shiny silver shoes. But this illustrates a concept, right? This idea of using the power of crowds to solve problems that for one person would be very difficult. This has been around ever since humans started forming tribes, right? We started getting to work together. But now in the digital tribe, where there's billions of us all interconnected, we can do all sorts of crazy things with this power of the crowds. So let me give you an example of how searching for silver sneakers in this crowd combines with computers and exploration. So a couple of months ago at our company, I got a call to say that 2 mountain climbers were missing. They'd been trying to climb this mountain called Palcaraju. It's in the Peruvian Andes in a very dangerous mountain range called the Cordillera Blanca. And they'd been missing for 2 weeks. This mountain is about 25 kilometers away from the nearest town. It takes a day to get there on a donkey. That's the only way you can get there. So how could we, halfway across the world, help to search for these 2 guys who were missing in the mountains? Well, did you know that right now there are satellites in space flying around the planet taking high-resolution pictures of every inch of the Earth, right? They rotate around the Earth. They orbit around the Earth about once every 90 minutes. So we can jump from Dallas and zoom into Peru in moments, right? And capture high-resolution images of what's on the ground there. And this isn't just for CIA spy people, right? This isn't top-secret technology. This is commercial. So we called up one of the companies that operates these satellites, Digital Globe, and we asked them, could they take a picture of this mountain where we thought the guys were missing? Just a few hours later, this is what we got. Gigabytes and gigabytes of imagery, photographs, covering this mountain range in minute detail. This is a super zoomed-out version that you're seeing right now. But now we had a new problem, right? We had billions of pixels covering thousands of square kilometers. How am I going to search through all of this and find these guys quickly, right? Well, this is where the silver sneakers comes in, right? My company, Tomnod, built this website where anyone on the internet can go and look at a tiny section of this image and help us search through all the data. So just like you helped me search for silver sneakers, you can go on this website and see a little picture of one small segment of that satellite image. And then we ask people to mark any clues that they see on this image, right? So maybe this might look like an avalanche, right? Or over here, could these be two tracks with footprints in the snow that could lead us to where they are? Well, you guys will probably know this is just one person's opinion, and you don't really want to trust every person that you hear on the internet, right? There's a lot of spam out there and other strange things going on. So this is where the power of the crowds comes in, right? So in just 15 minutes after launching this website, more than 20 people had tagged this area up here that you're looking at. So these green circles were to indicate that people thought maybe they saw a person here. They're not sure, right? No one's really sure. But when you see 20 people all distributed across the planet, all in front of their own computers, all independently agreeing, you start to think there might be something going on at this location right here. So let's pull the circles away, and this is what you see, right? It's pretty subtle, just these three subtle shadows all in a line. But that was enough people's brains are very perceptive in a way that machines can never be, and they're able to detect these things. It turns out this was actually the three-man rescue team who were hiking up the glacier to go and search for the missing climbers. So it was a good clue, but it wasn't quite there yet. Over the next 4 hours, thousands more clues like this poured in from hundreds of online explorers who were all scouring this mountain range, helping us search for these missing climbers. We turned a huge photograph into a map like this. And kind of running behind the scenes in all of this, we've written some algorithms, some computer programs that help us figure out, well, where is the consensus? Who's agreeing with who? Just like the two people who stand up in the crowd here. When I see two people stand up, I'm pretty confident that there's going to be silver sneakers in the middle. Likewise, when I see lots of people identify the same thing, that's where I know to prioritize and to send the rescuers there. So what we did was, in the next 4 hours, we pulled out the top 5 priority locations, and we sent the GPS coordinates to the rescue team who was hiking up the mountain in Peru. So from the other side of the world, with the help of people all over the planet, we were able to identify 5 places that we think they should go search. And this was the top one, the number 1 spot. And again, it's really subtle, right? You're not seeing very much, but what you might be able to see here, where that red arrow is just a faint trail in the snow that leads to the edge of the ridge. Well, unfortunately, it turns out that these were the last steps made by those 2 climbers. The next morning, guided by the clues that we sent from the satellite images, the rescue teams found their bodies 1,000 feet at the end of this ridge. So, unfortunately, this story has a sad ending. But what this demonstrates, I think, is the power of collecting people together in teams online, searching through satellite images, and combining our knowledge to solve problems and to find clues about the planet that could be vital to saving lives in the future and solving all sorts of problems. So let me give you a couple of examples of other kinds of challenges that we've been able to solve with these ideas. We just talked about Hurricane Sandy that swept across the East Coast here a couple of weeks ago. This is a picture that we, again, looked through lots of satellite images after the storm and had people help us identify areas that were damaged and destroyed so we could direct rescue teams and reconstruction efforts. In Syria right now, you might know that there's a big civilian uprising breaking out and a military response. And it's too dangerous to send people on the ground to monitor what's going on. And one of the only ways we can see what's happening is by looking at satellite images and finding things like these military helicopters. And as Kirsty said, one of the craziest adventures that we've used this technology for is to search satellite images of the wilds of Mongolia. And we got led up mysterious mountains and uncovered an 800-year-old mystery to find the tomb of Genghis Khan. But that's a story for another day. Tomorrow, maybe. For right now, let me just leave you with some ideas about how we can use this kind of idea of collecting the collective consciousness of everybody in this room, everybody across the world, anybody who sits in front of a computer and likes playing video games or likes clicking on the web. So this month, in the month of November, let's say, just in America, people will spend 100,000 years on Facebook. Add it all up, every little click that you do over everyone in America adds to 100,000 years, right? But it's not wasting time, right? We're organizing information, we're liking posts, we're sharing photographs, and we're connecting with real people, okay? You guys might remember Farmville. It's not as popular as it was, but when it was at its peak, it was estimated that there were more people playing Farmville than there actually are real farmers, right? How crazy is that? And I know some of you guys are, especially the guys, probably playing the new Call of Duty game that just came out. This is continuing one of the most popular video game franchises of all times. The new game has already sold more than 10 million copies and logged over 1 billion hours of playtime. And in fact, All of the Call of Duty soldiers added up around the world have killed the population of the Earth 10 times over, right? Virtually, thankfully, but, you know. And in fact, this is my favorite one. This guy, does anyone know who this guy is? This guy just broke the Guinness World Record for the longest continuous session of video games playing. He played Call of Duty for 135 hours straight. That's more than 5 days, right? So next time your parents give out to you for playing too much video games, tell them about this guy, right? This is dedication, right? I want to harness this dedication, this skill, the teamwork, and the creativity that our collective consciousness gives us. And I want to use the power of this digital world to help us better understand the real world. Because I believe that technology is the new travel. Gamers are the new tourists. Programmers are the new pioneers, and engineers are the new explorers. So go be a nerd and change the world. Thanks very much.